What is going on, guys? Welcome to another video. My name is West Coast 22. I appreciate you checking out the video, and this is our Mariners Create a Player franchise series for MLB The Show 24, where we follow the Mariners, we control the Mariners, try to get them to the playoffs, into the World Series, but while at the same time watching about 30 to 35 creative players that we have inserted into the franchise from our Twitch and YouTube community. This video will be all about those creative players. Season 3 CaP recap. The entire video will be dedicated just to those creative players, checking out their attributes, how well they did, if they won any awards. Maybe some made the All-Star team and I missed it. So we are going to check all that out here. So at the end of the last video, we already checked the top 100 prospects. So this, we will simply go to the roster. I like to sort by age because I think they're all 20 or younger. So it might be a little bit easier to check them out. But we will start with the Braves, start with the NL and work our way to the American League because it ends with our team. So the Braves have two, Antione Roussel and Big Papi, both 20 years old. Big Papi, we saw him make the World Series, but alas didn't win with the Braves. His third season, he is up to an 81 overall, starting to do very well against right-handers. But importantly, that defense continues to improve for Big Papi. 270 on the year, 7 home runs, 38 RBIs in just 49 games for the Braves. So hopefully he is behind Matt Olson. I don't think they're going to put him in right field. I mean, assuming Matt Olson's still in the Braves. This is 2026, so who knows? But Big Papi continuing to improve. He is doing well. Roussel is in AAA, but you see he is the number 3 prospect in baseball. Can't see AAA stats. Again, huge oversight by this game. I hope that's something that they fix. But he is up to a 79 and with an A potential, 98 potential for Roussel. So he is only going to get much, much better. Everything improved, including contact versus right and power versus left, 6 and 7. Big improvements for Roussel. I would be shocked if he did not make the team next year, but who knows with this game. The Marlins have one, and that is Jimmy Sweatervest, who is up in the major leagues. 38. Let's say third. I don't know. I saw third base, and my brain went to 38. All right, chill out, West. Offensive stats, and they did okay. The power versus left is not what you want to see, as Sweatervest is a 91 potential. The defense did go up, though. Everything else at least +3. You like the vision going up and the power versus right, but you don't see the power versus left. You don't like to see that going down. His second year, though, he did play less games. I don't know if he was hurt. Again, I wish that's something they could say, but they can't say everything. His average improved. His on-base improved. Slugging was pretty much even. 11 home runs. But 11 home runs and 76 at-bats compared to 14 and 514 last year. So his home run per plate appearance did improve, which is good for him. Two of the New York Metropolitans, they have 2 prospects, both hitters on the corners of the infield. Albert Pujols Jr. is first. He is up to an 83 at year 20 for the 96 potential first baseman. No discipline improvements, no contact versus left, but look at the power across the board. Improved to 13 total points, which is very, very nice. That's why you see the overall going up way higher. He did hit 26 bombs, 73 driven in. He cut down his strikeouts. He did have 110 less at bats, but hey, who's counting? Who's counting? OPS just over 750, which is good for Albert. Right behind him, Rendon, if he cared. Improvements across the board. He is an 82. The Mets have 2 good ones on the corner of their infield here. 74-70 is his contact, or 74-63 is his contact. 70-68 is his power. Everything improved except for his contact versus left, but you cannot be picky. You're already an 82 overall, and you are only going to get better. 261 for Rendon, 22 bombs, 63 RBIs. Pretty consistent year. He'd have more at bats. this year than last year, which is something we have not seen quite yet. Stole 14 bases. And his OPS was just a shy under 8, 767, which is pretty damn solid. Philadelphia Phillies have 2 as well, 2 highly potential, 96 and 98. We'll start with, we'll start with Big Daddy because he's 19. So this is only his second year, so he's only a 73. He's 19. AAA stats, it's there, but it doesn't want to show, which is nice. 12 at bats, 3 hits, 1 RBI. So he is yet to see regular time. He is back down in AAA. So it looks like he was the September 1st call up, but didn't get a lot of time. Don't like the power versus right dropping, but everything else at least improved a little bit. The +1s will not help, but his potential is so high and he's so young still that it is not a concern for him. 20-year-old Kyle Hart did make his debut this year. +3s literally across the board, as he is up to an 82 overall. Couple +4s. Everything else is +3 besides the blue. Easy, nice improvement across for Kyle Hart. 272. Only 3 home runs, though. With that power, 68 and 65, and he only hit 3 bombs in 224 at-bats. That's going to change. Granted, it was only 60 games, but 1 home run every 20 games with power above 65 both directions. Sim did not like you this time. 742 OPS, though, so a good year for Kyle Hart as he makes his debut in the major leagues. The Nats have 2 as well, including 1 of our 99s. And the Nats are the Cox and Smoke Show. They've had a ton of promotions with the Smoke and Cox Show, the Cox and Smoke Show, whatever you want to say. We'll start out with Hugh Cox, who is our 99 potential. One of our 99 potentials. We do have a few. And his improvements, not that great this year. Didn't touch power versus right. Actually dropped power versus left. Everything else, pretty solid improvement. Contact could have been a little bit better. But not the best improvement, but still an 80 and still only 20 years old. Did drop his average to 219. 17 bombs drastically fell off from last year, where he was the rookie of the year. Dropped 11 home runs, pretty much the same at bats too. So he lost power, lost a ton of offensive production with those 35 RBIs. But still improved, still an 80, and he's still only 20 years old. Joey Smoke, his counterpart here, only an 87 overall. That's why you see him at 73. He's slowly improving. He did not play in the majors this year. A 73 overall. They kept him in AAA the entire season. So you don't see as much improvement. He did get the +5 power versus left, but everything else pretty minimal as he sticks as an 87. The Cubbies have 3. This is one of our teams that have 3. And if you have been paying attention and watching the episodes at all, this is the team that concerns me to win all of the World Series. Will Steele is not a creative player, but look at that. 18 years old. He is already an 85 overall. This is a generational talent that was taken last draft, the season 2 draft, not the one we did a couple episodes ago. And he's already an 85. Disgusting. So not only do they have that, they have 3 creative players as well. Tony Cummins, who was traded from the Red Sox to the Cubs. He's an 83 at 20 years old. +3 across the board, +8 power versus left. Just insane improvement. He matches the best overall that we've seen so far for our 20-year-old at 83. 15 bombs, 41 RBIs, improved his average, improved his OBP, improved his slugging, and his OPS was almost 0.8. Almost 800 for Tony Cummins. That's why you see the big improvements. Brian Simmons is another one of our creative players. 82, just a little bit under Tony Cummins. You see the good improvements, though, except for that -5 power versus left. You don't like to see that. But he hit 24 bombs, 74 RBIs, and walked 56 times. And on base of 363 and a slugging of almost 500, which puts him about 850 for OPS. Very good from Brian Simmons. So catcher and the corner infield spots are done for the Cubs for a very, very long time. Slobberknocker, which is the other Cap, he is a creative player. Dropped some K per 9, which is not good. But the rest of his stats are pretty solid. Good enough to pitch up, especially in the bullpen. A 74 is good enough. He pitched in 21 games last year, only 18 innings, allowed 9 runs in those innings, struck out 12, walked 10. So a little bit to improve on, as he was utilized much less than he was in his first 2 seasons. But he is in a potential at a 91 potential. So he's got plenty of room to improve. Cincinnati Reds only have one, and that is Jim Edmonds Jr. Lost contact and power, so left side of the plate he struggled with this year. But everything else, pretty solid improvement. +5, +2, +3s across the board. He also did not play in the majors this year. After playing 141 games last year, he was sent down. Or maybe he was hurt the whole year, because it also doesn't have AAA stats as a tab. So that means he didn't even play in AAA, I believe. Because some of these other players have MLB and AAA for 2026. So I don't know. Very odd that he did not play one game, get one at bat. There's no AAA, and there's nothing in the major leagues. But he improved. So I'm a little surprised. But 77 overall, age 20 for Jim Edmonds Jr. To the Brewers we go, where the Brewers are a little bit broken as well. They have 3 caps, 94, 95, and 99 potential. We will start with Donnie Savior, one of the 3 caps, I believe, that we added a couple years ago. His overall is actually going down for being a high A potential. That's very disappointing. He dropped contact versus right, dropped power versus left. He was in AAA the whole year. He never even got called up. So it's very surprising that a AAA prospect lost 9 stats overall, I guess. And the sum, he actually lost -1. He gained 8, lost 9. So a net loss for Donnie Savior, but he's only 19. He's got plenty of time. He will figure it out. The other one here, this is the one we are stoked about. Robert Jones, the number 2 prospect in all of baseball. He was in AAA or single A for 2 years. They finally brought him up. The AI finally did what they were supposed to do and brought him up to AAA this year as an 83 potential. He is another one of our 99s, and you can see why. 83, 20 years old, constantly improving. I would be shocked if he was not up in the majors this year or next year. An 83 overall, why would you not do it? The other one, Chucky Norris here. He is a 94 potential for the Brew Crew. Lost power versus left. Probably, even if he would have stand firm, he'd probably be a 78 or 79 right now. But still improving. Everything else improved well. +6, +5, a couple 4s, and the rest 3s and 2s. So even though he lost power versus left, still a very good year for improvement. He only got 56 at-bats in the major leagues, hit 3 bombs, but only hit 196 with those 56 opportunities. But Cleveland is in good hands as well. Again, they have Alex Ortiz too, not a cap, but top prospect. So they have some dudes for Milwaukee. That NL Central is going to be tough for years to come. Pittsburgh Pirates have only one, and it is Timothy Ito, one of our brand new prospects we just added at the beginning of this season. So you see he's only 18 years old. He improved 2 points, lost some contact. The +6 discipline is nice. The +6 total power is nice, but he did drop a little bit. The MLB, the tab's there, which means maybe he came up. Maybe he came up, but didn't get in the bat. So this 2024 is actually not Timothy Ito. It's not his stats. This was the guy that I edited prior to this, so this is not him. That's not him. But in the case, he's improving a little bit. It's only his first year. He has plenty of time as well. Cardinals don't have anybody. Arizona does not have anybody. The Rockies do not. The Dodgers, thankfully, freaking do not. We are to San Diego, and they have two. Not only do they have Ethan Salas, the real prospect, but they have Seth Ross, Nats fan, the reigning Rookie of the Year, and he made the All-Star team this year as well in his rookie season. Improvements pretty well. You would have liked to see contact left and power versus right improve a little bit more, but he is up to an 80 overall. We already know his stats. He won Rookie of the Year, 293, 25 bombs, 90, almost 90 RBIs, 39 doubles, and 2 triples. So 66 extra base hits for Seth Ross, Nats fan. All-Star caliber season, Rookie of the Year caliber season. He deserved it. Juan Gonzalez is the other guy on San Diego, up to a 77. Lost one discipline, didn't really improve contact and power very much. The vision will help. The defense will help as he's trying to play second base with that catcher secondary too. So not terrible. He's not an 83 like some of the other 20-year-olds, but 77 is very good. He did get a little bit of taste. 2 for 18, most likely in September for Juan Gonzalez. Plenty of life, plenty of time left as he's only 20 years old. To the Giants, have nobody. Now we are in the American League. Baltimore has 2. They've been drafting horribly. Look at their 18, 19-year-old CCD. So they are pretty bad. Mr. Squiggles is our first one. He is up to an 80 overall. Look at the contact and power, plus 13 total adds to the contact and power, plus 4, plus 3, plus 2 for everything else, not in the Blues. The defense has got to get a little better if he wants to play center field. Probably will put him in the corner outfield for now because of his speed, but Mr. Squiggles doing pretty well. 261, 16 bombs, 51 RBIs, played in less games than last year, but still pretty good stats for only playing in 104 games for the Orioles. The other one, Frank Reynolds. Frankie boy Reynolds, not a lot of improvement. Not a ton for him. He did not improve at all. Overall, still a 73. So he is slowly improving. His potential is only 88, so he has a little bit to work with still. Only 15 games with Baltimore, but he did hit 283 in those. Did get a home run. Hit 9 home runs in 34 games last year. That same success did not carry over this year. Frank Reynolds, 73. Not very good. Boston does not have any because they traded Tony Cummins away. New York Yankees do have 2. They're drafting pretty well. They have a couple Bs here. Daddy Mick Homersworth is one of them. 79 overall, 20 years old, plus 4, plus 6, plus 8 discipline. But you see 3s across the board. MLB stats, 261 average, did hit 25 home runs. Drove in 91 with an on-base of 343. His OPS was over 800, which is very nice. Awards, he also made the All-Star team for the American League. Daddy Mick Homersworth, in his second season, gets his first All-Star bid. William Bianchi is the other one for the Bronx Bombers. Plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. He also had a huge discipline uptick this year. Good defense, too. I like seeing a plus 4 for defense. Did drop contact versus left a couple, but can't always be perfect. He's a 78 overall. Did lose some at bats this year. Maybe there were some injury problems or other players did not get injured, so no room for him. 14 at bats. He did go yard 3 times, but he only hit 220. Tampa Bay only has 1. But look at the way they've been drafting. Gene Olson, Caminero's real. So maybe they have not been drafting well. I saw one guy. Paquette's pretty good as well. But Kevin Shepard, this is the cap. This is the one that we have. +4, +3s. 4s, 3s, and 2s across the board, except for the contact versus left dropped a little bit. But 79 overall, only with +3s and 4s, and he's still almost an 80 at year 20. At age 20, which is very good. Did play in some less games, only 20 games. Hit 256 in his short opportunities and went yard 4 times. Toronto Blue Jays have nobody. Chicago White Sox did have one. The Chicago White Sox had Thiago Suter. They traded him in the division to the Kansas City Royals, which we will see in a second. Cleveland has one, and it's the guy right here at the top, Neil Major. This was his first year. We just added him. Not a good first season for Neil Major. Did not improve at all. The +1 walk and home runs per 9. Not a good first year. Didn't lose anything really. The one stamina, that'll come with time. He is only 18 years old, and he does have a 93 potential. So plenty of time to improve. You would have liked to see a little bit improvement, but nothing for Neil Major this year. Detroit has nothing. Now we go to the aforementioned Kansas City Royals. That does have two. Jack Meoff was drafted there at the start. He has been a Royal for 3 years. Big improvement for Jack Meoff. +3s and +4s, a +2 for control. Or pitching clutch, I'm sorry. But an 81. A pitcher being 81, very, very good. He was given 5 starts this year. Didn't pitch well in them. Did not pitch well. Did strike out 43 guys, though, in 45 innings and only walked 17. So if he can get the hits down a little bit, he is going to be very, very solid. Jack Meoff is an 88 overall, so he doesn't have much more to improve, but he still has a little bit to go. Thiago Suter, traded from the White Sox, +10 contact versus left. My God. Did lose some power versus right, but that's a huge improvement for his contact versus left. 262, did drop a little bit from the White Sox. More home runs, though. Granted, he had 230 more at bats. 17 bombs, though, 58 RBIs. Did strike out 146 times, so definitely something to work on. And his on-base percentage dropped to .311. But 77 overall for Thiago Suter, and he is a 93 overall, so he has plenty of room to improve. The Twins have 2. We are looking at Peter Griffin, a catcher. Continues to not really improve much, only a 74, and it's because he's losing speed, losing steal, and losing power versus left. Contact went up, which is great. Power versus right went up, which is great. The rest, not so much. Being a catcher, you need that defense to be a little bit better, and he is struggling a little bit with that. Only was given 1 game, and he was 3 for 5 in it, though, with 2 runs in the 1 game that the Twins allowed him to play. So a good 1 game for Peter Griffin, as he's a 74. The other one for the Twins should be Landon Howard. He's 18. We skipped over him at first. My apologies. I forgot that he was 18. Did not improve, though. Stayed as 70 overall. Another starting pitcher. Was up in AAA. Couple +1s, couple -1s. So not a lot of improvement. Again, first year, 18. It is what it is, but would have liked to see some more improvement from the 18-year-old in Minnesota. We go to the AL West here, and this is another one of our teams with 3 prospects, so they are locked for prospects. We already kind of looked at them because they did make the World Series. Kyle Vigneault, his first year, though, he's up to a 74. You see some of the other 18-year-olds that we added this year did not improve very much. Vigneault is the opposite of that. +4s, +3s. Contact only improved a little bit, but everything else improved very, very much. 21 RBIs, 7 home runs in only 53 games. Was a late call-up, but did make the postseason roster and played very well in the postseason. Played much better in his .215 regular season average. So a very, very promising first year for Kyle Vigneault. Hack Attack, we already kind of looked at. He did win Rookie of the Year this year, and he got the playoff MVP for the American League. So 2 big awards for Hack Attack. Everything improved except for power versus left. That contact is very nice. The vision, the discipline, plus the plus 3s and 4s for defense is also very, very good. And he is an 81 at 20 years old. Not quite an 83 like some of these other players, but an 81 is very, very good. We already know his stats because we looked at him last episode. 22 bombs, 91 driven in, 365 OBP, which does put his OPS over 800, which is a very good spot to be. Played in every single game. 162. Did not miss a beat this year for Houston. Cody Brewer's the other one, 20 years old. He's a 75, but everything improved. Didn't have any improvements over 5 and only 1 over 3. But as long as you keep improving, that's all you can really ask for. Did lose some games, only had 181 at-bats this year. Hit 221, 6 home runs, 14 RBIs, but played pretty well in the postseason too as he made the postseason roster. Not as good as Hack Attack, but very good year. Very good year for Cody as he continues to get better for Houston. The Angels don't have anybody. The A's don't have anybody. We'll do Texas, and then we'll go back to my guys. I'm just kidding. Texas has nobody. So outside of Houston, we are the only team that has anybody. And look at the way we've drafted. Which, to be fair, this is the way everyone should draft. A's and B's are not horrible. They're not hard to find. So it's going to be very, very fun once these guys continue to improve. Jameson Cumbest is actually my creative player. I did not put him on the Mariners. If you watched the very first episode, he landed on the Mariners, which was really cool. Very, very cool that my creative player lands on the team that I'm controlling, which is nice. +4, +9, huge improvements for Cumbest. 93 potential for me. I do lose 1 power versus left, but I like the +5 vision, the +7 discipline, the 3s and 4s across the board the rest of the way. I like it. Not quite an 83, but I'll take an 82 overall in my age 20 season. The other one, Fister Furbush, the Rookie of the Year from last year. Struggled mightily this year as his potential is dropping. His potential was only an 86. The fact where it's going down is not good. An 85 is the bottom potential that I put these caps at. If they drop below that, there's not much I can do. The game will be the game. -5 contact versus right, -4 power versus left. After having the Rookie of the Year season that he did, he fell down to earth a little bit. Last year, 25 bombs, 92, hit 271. This year, practically the same at bats, just production was cut. Still hit 17 home runs, but drove in 40 less runs. Struck out more often. Dropped his on-base percentage by 60 points. Dropped his average by 64 points. Not a good sophomore season from Fister Furbush. He will look to bounce back in year number 3. Though that's our cap recap for season 3. If you have a creative player, I hope you are enjoying watching them grow. If you don't have one and you'd like to add one, easy peasy, guys. Google form in the description, fill it out, and I will add your player in to this series. That simple, and you can watch them grow. Thanks for checking out the cap recap with me for season 3. Like, comment, let me know what you think about the series. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you get notifications when a video of mine goes live. I appreciate you. We will see you the next video for the off season for season number 4.